If a guy ever does what I'm about to describe in this video, run. Do not walk. Ruyun. Hey guys, welcome back. Today, I am going to redefine the word manipulator for you. We always talk about red flags, but what happens when the red flags are literally criminal offenses? Our girl Lexi thought she was dating a wealthy CEO's son. Spoiler alert, he was a teenage dropout running an illegal scam ring. Grab your tea, because this gets wild. Our main girl today, let's call her Lexi, is 26 years old. But to truly understand how she almost ruined her life, we have to rewind all the way back to 2014, when Lexi was just a sophomore in high school. Picture this. It's spring break 2014. Lexi meets up with her best friend for a fun day out. Her bestie brings along her younger brother, and the brother brings a friend. Enter our villain, let's call him Vince. Right off the bat, Vince stood out. He was good-looking, kind of resembled a popular actor, but he had this intense, sketchy bad boy energy. As the sun sets, Vince suggests they all sneak into a local club. They were just high schoolers, so the idea of clubbing was thrilling. They hop in a cab, and during the ride, Vince asks for Lexi's phone number. Less than 5 minutes after she gives it to him, her phone buzzes. It's a text from Vince. Do you want to be my girlfriend? Lexi is 16. She is totally stunned. She looks over at Vince in the cab, and this guy literally just winks at her. Then, under the table at the club, he grabs her hand. Lexi is nervous and pulls away. But Vince doesn't care about her boundaries. He leans in, completely reeking of alcohol, and tries to force a kiss on her. Lexi is freaked out, pushes him away, makes an excuse, and goes straight home. When Lexi tells her bestie what happened, the bestie is furious and does some digging. It turns out Vince is literally a 14-year-old kid. He was born in 2000, dropped out of middle school, and had been working at a sketchy real estate office for a year. Yes, a 14-year-old dropout trying to act like a club-hopping playboy. Despite the creepy start, Vince gets to work. He texts Lexi every single day, giving her all this emotional validation and sweet talk. 10 days later, Lexi walks out of her high school and sees Vince standing at the gate. He is wearing a crisp suit and holding a massive bouquet of red roses. He walks up to her in front of everyone and says, "It's Friday, I'm walking you home." Lexi is swept off her feet. Her vanity is flattered, and it felt like a romantic movie. She agrees to date him. But guys, the mask slipped almost immediately. Literally 2 days into the relationship, this 14-year-old kid asks her to go to a hotel room with him. Lexi is disgusted, refuses, and they get into a cold war. A few days later, Lexi goes out to get BBQ with a childhood guy friend. Vince happens to be there with his gang of dropouts. He sees Lexi with another guy, gets insanely jealous, and without asking any questions, he and his friends jump Lexi's friend and beat him up on the ground. Lexi screams, pulls them apart, slaps Vince across the face, and drags her friend away. That night, she dumped him and blocked him completely. And that block lasted for 7 entire years. Fast forward to 2021. Lexi is now 26, beautiful and navigating adulthood. Right around the holidays, she meets up with her old bestie and the little brother. They are catching up and the brother casually mentions, "Hey, Vince still asks about you. He says he regrets being so impulsive and not cherishing you. You should add him." Lexi, thinking they are all adults now, says, "Oh, I don't know, that's kind of awkward." But the brother tells Vince, and that very night, Lexi gets a friend request. They start talking, and guys, Vince is a master at building a fake persona. He tells Lexi he had a massive glow-up. He claims his dad is a wealthy real estate CEO, so he has a house and a car without even needing to study. Then, he drops a massive trauma dump to gain her sympathy. He says his mom tragically died of an illness in 2019. Before he could even grieve, his dad married a girl born in 1997 who was only 3 years older than Vince and had a baby within 6 months. Vince claims he was so heartbroken and betrayed that he fought with his dad and moved out. Lexi's heart just breaks for him. When she asks how he supports himself, Vince drops a flex. He says he makes tens of thousands of dollars a month running an adult toy business with his friends, and on top of that, he develops video games that bring in even more cash. Lexi is a regular college grad, so hearing this guy makes $15,000 a month, she is highly impressed. Just 3 days into texting, Vince pulls a crazy stunt. He tells Lexi to check his Instagram. He had stolen a bunch of her selfies, made a 9-grid photo collage, and captioned it, "My first love has returned, I'm so happy." Lexi freaks out. She messages him, "Delete that immediately, people are going to misunderstand." Vince doesn't delete it. Instead, he sends her a massive paragraph apologizing for his past, saying she was always his white rose and he wants to win her back properly. Then, he sends a photo. It was a picture of them from that spring break trip 7 years ago. He had kept it this entire time. That picture broke Lexi's defenses. She thought, wow, he really does care about me. She gives him a 3-day probation period. If he treats her right, she will be his girlfriend. And boy, did he perform. He drives up to her house in a white SUV, brings her milk tea, and literally hand washes a basket of strawberries for her to eat in the passenger seat. He takes her to theme parks, takes her to karaoke, and he uses a classic manipulation tactic called mirroring. Lexi says she likes a specific book, he says he loves it too. She likes J. Chu, he's a massive fan. She wants a cat, he promises to buy her one next time. It felt like they were soulmates. The 3-day probation ends on New Year's Eve. Vince invites her out to dinner with his business partner Chris, and Chris' girlfriend, Sarah. Lexi is sweet, and brings homemade candy for Sarah, though she notices Sarah acting kind of cold toward her. After dinner, Vince drives them to an empty lot and pops the trunk of his SUV. It is packed to the brim with expensive fireworks. He tells Lexi, "I bought all of these just for you. It cost me over $1,000, but making you smile is all that matters." They light the fireworks. As the sky lights up, Vince runs over, hugs Lexi tightly from behind, rests his head on her shoulder, and whispers in her ear, "Lexi, will you officially be my girlfriend now? I don't have a mom anymore, so thank you for spending the holidays with me." Lexi's heart completely melts. She is crying, hugging him back, feeling like she needs to protect this poor, lonely, successful guy. She says yes. But she had absolutely no idea that this beautiful, romantic night was actually the beginning of a nightmare that would almost cost her everything. So, the day after New Year's Eve, Lexi goes over to Vince's apartment. The roommates are out, and they end up hooking up. Now, Lexi admits that Vince was highly experienced in that department, like suspiciously experienced, but she brushed it off. However, the second time they hooked up, the giant, neon red flags started violently waving in her face. Before they even started, Vince casually asks, "Hey, can I film us?" Lexi is instantly uncomfortable and shuts it down immediately. "Absolutely not," she says. So Vince goes, "Okay, what if I just record the audio?" Again, Lexi says no. It was super weird, but they moved past it. But guys, listen to this. During the act, Lexi was facing away from him. Out of the corner of her eye, she sees a movement. She turns around, and Vince is literally holding his phone up, recording her bare back. Lexi absolutely loses her mind. She jumps up, snatches the phone out of his hand, and sees a 3-second video he was about to send to God knows who. She is furious. She throws her clothes on and says, "We are done. If you do this to me, you definitely did this to your exes. We are over." But Vince is a master manipulator. He drops to his knees. He turns on the puppy dog eyes, starts begging, crying, and aggressively love-bombing her. He apologizes a million times, pulls her in, kisses her, and acts completely devastated. And Lexi, she caves. She forgives him. But the disrespect didn't stop there. Vince completely refused to wear protection. Lexi would literally force him to put it on. But when they finished, she'd realize he had secretly taken it off midway through. She was living in constant fear, taking Plan B pills. When she freaked out about getting pregnant, Vince just smiled and said, "If you get pregnant, we'll just get married. I want a baby." He was actively trying to trap her. About a month into this chaotic relationship, Lexi is at work when she gets a call from an unknown number. She picks it up, and it's Sarah, the girlfriend of Vince's business partner, Chris. Sarah's voice is dead serious. She says, "Lexi, I need you to listen to me very carefully. I couldn't stand watching Vince ruin another girl's life." Sarah proceeds to drop the biggest bombshells. She tells Lexi that Vince had a girlfriend named Lily, and they didn't just casually date, they were together for 3 years. Lily came from a wealthy family, and she literally funded Vince's entire existence. She bought all his clothes, his underwear, his groceries. Once, Vince dropped his phone in a lake, claimed his dad cut him off, and forced Lily to buy him a brand new iPhone. But it gets darker. Sarah reveals that Lily got pregnant 6 months prior because Vince refused to use protection. Vince tried to force Lily to keep it, but Lily's family intervened and made her get an abortion. And the sickest part, Vince officially dumped Lily the day before he set off those New Year's Eve fireworks for Lexi. Lexi is hyperventilating. Her entire reality is shattering. She texts Vince right then and there. "We are breaking up. I told my family about your job and your education, and they absolutely forbid us from being together." She used her family as an excuse to avoid a messy confrontation. Within seconds, Vince calls her, sobbing uncontrollably. He literally drives straight to her house. He stands outside, crying his eyes out, begging, "Is this it? Are you abandoning me too? If I quit my job right now and go back to school, will your parents accept me?" Then, he looks at her and says, "Baby, are you not wearing makeup today? You are so stunning. You look so beautiful right now." Guys, the psychological warfare is insane. He completely derailed the breakup by playing the victim, offering fake compromises, and flattering her. Lexi's brain was so scrambled, she felt a pang of sympathy. She thought maybe he really does love me, so she didn't break up with him. That night, to secure his grip on her, he hooked up with her again. Afterward, he cuddled her and said, "See, couples fight, but we always make up. You are a gift from God. I want to marry you." He even changed his phone password to Lexi's birthday to prove his loyalty. But a few days later, Vince pulls a totally different move. Since he shared his password, he asks for Lexi's password. Lexi, having nothing to hide, gives it to him. Later that day, they are hanging out, and Vince suddenly looks at her, smirks, and says, "You're broke." Lexi freezes. "Did you look at my bank apps?" He doesn't answer. He just sits there with this creepy, condescending smile. Lexi feels sick to her stomach. She immediately changes her passwords. She realizes this guy doesn't respect her at all. He was literally evaluating her financial worth. Lexi's intuition is screaming at her. She decides to take a short trip to Chengdu with a friend to clear her head. The first night there, Vince video calls her, acting totally normal, but after midnight, he completely vanishes. The next day, no texts, no calls. By 4 p.m. Lexi orders a boba tea delivery to his apartment to see if he's there. The delivery guy waits for 10 minutes. Nobody answers. Lexi calls Sarah again, and this time, Sarah holds nothing back. She exposes the entire truth about Vince's wealth. That adult toy business? Vince wasn't a partner. He was an unpaid warehouse boy for Chris. He literally made $0. And that game development side hustle? Guys, it was an illegal, underground porn game ring. Vince's job was to lure young guys and college students into sketchy group chats, send them links to these illegal adult games, and trick them into making in-app purchases. For every person he successfully scammed, he made a $10 commission. That was his $15,000 a month empire. And remember Lily, Vince never actually let her go. Lexi contacts Lily directly and finds out that right after Vince started dating Lexi, he went crawling back to Lily. He told Lily, "I don't even like Lexi, I only want you." He begged Lily for money, claiming he needed to pay rent. What did he do with Lily's money? He used it to buy Lexi sushi and take her to karaoke. Remember that cute DIY yarn bag Vince gave Lexi, claiming he hurt his fingers making it? He originally made that for Lily, but when they fought, he just re-gifted it to Lexi. He was literally recycling his scams. He also begged Lily to buy him a new car. He told Lily, "I have a new friend who can chip in $4,000. That friend was Lexi. When Vince snooped through Lexi's phone, he saw she had about $4,000 in savings, and he immediately plotted to drain her account to buy himself a car. Lexi cuts her trip short and rushes back to her city. She uses her spare key to get into Vince's apartment. Everything is untouched. His clothes are there. His ID card is on the table, which, by the way, proved he lied about his age. He was born in 1997. But one thing is missing, his computer tower. Lexi starts a group chat with Vince's friends. She says Vince is missing and his PC is gone. His friends are completely unfazed. One of them casually says, "Oh, if his PC is gone, he definitely got raided by the cyber police." They took the evidence. Another friend chimes in, "Yeah, that white SUV he drove you in? That's my car. He doesn't own a car." Another adds, "And those photos of his luxury mansion? He stole them from my Instagram." Lexi takes his ID and runs to the local police station. She tells the cop, "My boyfriend has been missing for 3 days. The older cop takes one look at Vince's ID, sighs, and asks, "Did you give him any money?" Lexi says, "No, just a $50 Cash App once." The cop looks at her with total pity and says, "Girl, leave this man immediately. He is not in danger. He is very familiar with this station." Vince was a repeat offender. He was currently sitting in a jail cell for his illegal gambling and porn ring. In the aftermath, Lily and Lexi team up and uncover the darkest parts of Vince's past. You know, his tattoos. He told Lexi he had a fish tattoo for a childhood pet. Nope, it was for an ex-girlfriend who loved fish. He had a Lee tattoo, claiming it was his mom's middle name. Nope, it was for Lily. They also found his ex-girlfriend before Lily, a sweet college student. Vince had lied to her, claiming he was a military veteran. He lived in her dorm, completely mooched off her, and got her pregnant. When she was sleeping, this absolute monster took her phone, downloaded a loan app, and took out $7,000 in high-interest loans in her name. He transferred the money to himself, deleted the evidence, gave her $1,000 for the abortion, and ran away with the rest. That poor girl worked 2 jobs for 3 years just to pay off the debt he stole from her. As for Vince, he got sentenced to over a year in prison, and the sickest part, while in prison, he literally called Lily collect, begging her to send him money for new underwear. He bragged about the networking he was doing in jail, claiming he met some major criminals, and they were going to start a huge operation when they got out. Lexi survived this purely by luck. If the police hadn't raided Vince's apartment that specific week, she would have been his next financial victim. So guys, please, take this as a massive warning. Love bombing, pushing boundaries, trauma dumping on the first date, refusing to wear protection, these are not just quirks. They are the behavioral patterns of predators. Protect your heart, but more importantly, protect your bank accounts. Thank you so much for listening. Stay safe, trust your gut, and I will see you in the next video.